Today, I'm going to share something truly special with you. 6 powerful phrases that can bridge that gap between what your heart feels and what your words express. These aren't just empty compliments or manipulation tactics. They're authentic expressions that show her you see her, you value her, and she matters to you in ways that perhaps even you didn't realize until now. I discovered these through years of both personal experience and hearing countless stories from couples who transformed their relationships with just a few sincere words. So whether you're trying to win someone's heart, rekindle a flame, or deepen an already beautiful connection, stay with me until the end. Because the 6th one, well, I've seen it literally bring tears to people's eyes. Let's dive into these 6 sweet things that can instantly win her heart and create a connection that feels like coming home. 1. I'm proud of you. There's something incredibly powerful about telling someone you're proud of them. We all want to feel like our efforts matter and are recognized by those we care about. When she accomplishes something, whether it's a major achievement like a promotion or something smaller like handling a difficult conversation well, telling her you're proud shows that you notice her strengths and celebrate her wins. Try saying, "The way you handled that situation today was amazing. I'm so proud of you for standing your ground while staying so composed." This works because it's specific. You're not just saying empty words. You're acknowledging exactly what she did that impressed you. It shows you're paying attention to the details of her life and genuinely admire her qualities. Remember to use this sincerely. Notice the things she does well and point them out. Everyone appreciates being seen for their efforts, especially by someone whose opinion matters to them. I remember when my friend Mark was dating Sarah, who had been studying for her medical licensing exam for months. The day after her test, instead of just saying "good job," he told her, "I'm so proud of how dedicated you've been these past months. Watching you push through those all-nighters and still keep your compassion for your patients. It's truly inspiring." Sarah later told me that in that moment, she knew he really saw her. Not just her achievement, but the character it took to get there. That's the difference between a generic "good job" and truly expressing pride in someone. It's about recognizing not just what they did, but who they are that made it possible. And here's something important. Pride doesn't always have to be about major accomplishments. Sometimes expressing pride in how she handled a difficult family situation or stood up for herself in a small way can be even more meaningful because it shows you're paying attention to the details of her life that others might miss. 2. Your opinion matters to me. In a world where many people talk over each other or dismiss others' perspectives, showing someone that you genuinely value their thoughts creates an immediate connection. When you're making decisions that affect both of you, or even just sharing your day, make it clear that her input is important. Ask for her advice and really listen to what she has to say. Try saying, "I've been thinking about this situation and I'd really value your perspective on it. What do you think we should do?" Follow this up by actually considering her input. Nothing undermines the sentiment faster than asking for someone's opinion and then completely ignoring it. This works because it shows respect and partnership. It demonstrates that you see her as an equal whose thoughts and ideas have merit. It also creates a sense of teamwork that strengthens your connection. There's something particularly powerful about asking for her opinion on things that are important to you. Maybe it's a career decision you're facing, or how to handle a conflict with a friend. When you bring her into these meaningful parts of your life, you're saying, "I trust your judgment. I believe in your wisdom." The key here is authenticity. Don't ask unless you're genuinely interested in what she thinks. Women have an incredible radar for detecting when someone is just going through the motions versus truly valuing their input. I've seen relationships transform when partners start regularly asking each other, "What do you think about this?" And then, this is crucial, actually taking that opinion into consideration. It builds a foundation of mutual respect that can weather almost any storm. One couple I know makes major decisions using what they call the 3-day rule. They both share their initial thoughts, then give each other 3 days to consider the other's perspective before coming back to the conversation. The wife told me this practice made her feel more valued in their relationship than any gift or grand gesture ever could. 3. I feel safe with you. Emotional safety is the foundation of any deep relationship. When someone feels they can be their authentic self around you without judgment, a special kind of bond forms. Telling her that you feel safe being vulnerable with her is incredibly powerful because it shows trust. It also implies that she creates an environment where you can be your true self. Try saying, "I love how I can tell you anything without worrying about being judged. I feel completely safe being myself around you." This works because it's not just a compliment, it's a reflection of the emotional space you've created together. It acknowledges her role in building that trust and safety. This sentiment becomes even more meaningful when you demonstrate it by actually opening up about your feelings, fears, and dreams. Words backed by actions create the deepest impact. What makes this phrase so powerful is that it goes against many cultural expectations that men shouldn't admit vulnerability. When you tell a woman you feel safe enough to be vulnerable with her, you're essentially saying, "With you, I don't have to wear the armor I wear with the rest of the world." This creates an intimate bond that goes beyond physical attraction or common interests. It creates a sanctuary between two people where both can truly be seen. Think about it. In our everyday lives, we're all performing to some extent. We show certain sides of ourselves at work, with friends, with family. But that constant performance is exhausting. Having someone with whom you can put down that performance and just be, that's precious beyond words. And when you acknowledge that she's created that safe space for you, you're recognizing something profound about her character, her capacity for acceptance, understanding, and compassion. These are qualities worth celebrating. I know a man who struggled with anxiety for years, but hid it from everyone in his life. When he finally opened up to his partner about it, her response was so accepting that he told her, "I've never felt this safe with anyone before." Years later, they still refer to that conversation as the moment their relationship truly deepened from something casual to something lasting. 4. I notice what you do. Many people feel their efforts go unappreciated, especially in long-term relationships where small acts of kindness can become expected rather than celebrated. Taking the time to acknowledge the things she does, whether it's remembering your favorite snack, organizing your shared space, or supporting you during tough times, shows that you don't take her for granted. Try saying, "I noticed how you remembered to pick up my favorite coffee this morning. These little thoughtful things you do mean so much to me." This works because it shows attentiveness. You're not just benefiting from her kindness, you're actively recognizing it. This makes her feel valued and appreciated for the effort she puts into your relationship. Make a habit of noticing and commenting on at least one thing she does each day. This practice of gratitude strengthens your bond and encourages both of you to continue those small acts of kindness. There's a psychological concept called invisible labor. All the little things someone does that largely go unnoticed, but keep a relationship or household running smoothly. When you make this invisible labor visible through your acknowledgement, it's incredibly validating. I found that being specific makes this even more powerful. Instead of just saying, "Thanks for cleaning," saying, "I noticed how you organized the bookshelf by color," and it makes the whole room feel more peaceful, shows that you're really paying attention to her specific touches and efforts. This kind of noticing extends beyond household tasks. Maybe it's how she always asks thoughtful questions to your friends to make them feel welcome, or how she remembers to check in with you when you're having a stressful day, or the way she holds your hand in exactly the way that makes you feel grounded. One man I know started keeping a small journal of things his partner did that he appreciated. Not only did it help him become more observant, but on days when their relationship felt challenging, reviewing that journal reminded him of all the ways she showed love through action. The beauty of "I notice what you do" is that it creates a virtuous cycle. When people feel appreciated for their efforts, they're naturally motivated to continue those behaviors. Not out of obligation, but out of the joy that comes from knowing their actions matter. 5. You inspire me to be better. One of the most meaningful compliments you can give someone is telling them they inspire you. It shows that their presence in your life has a positive impact that extends beyond just making you happy. When you recognize and acknowledge how she's influenced you for the better, you're giving her one of the highest forms of appreciation. Try saying, "The way you always see the best in people has changed how I approach my relationships. You inspire me to be more understanding and patient." This works because it's about growth and impact. You're telling her that she doesn't just make your life better by being in it, she actually makes you better. This kind of acknowledgement runs deeper than surface-level compliments. Be specific about how she inspires you. Maybe it's her work ethic, her compassion, her creativity, or her resilience. Naming the quality shows that you're paying attention to who she truly is. When you tell someone they inspire you, you're essentially saying, "My life has more possibility because of you." There's something deeply moving about knowing you've expanded someone else's sense of what's possible in their own life. I know a couple who had been together for over a decade. The husband was generally encouraging, but not particularly verbal about his feelings. On their anniversary, he gave his wife a letter detailing all the ways she had inspired him to be braver, kinder, and more authentic over the years. She told me later that in all their years together, nothing had ever made her feel more deeply loved than reading those words. This phrase is powerful because it honors her character and the positive influence she has in the world. It's not about her physical appearance or what she does for you. It's about who she is at her core and how that excellence calls you toward your own best self. The most beautiful relationships are those where both people inspire each other to grow. When you acknowledge how she inspires you, you're recognizing that romantic love isn't just about comfort and security. It's also about challenging each other to become your best selves. And there's something particularly meaningful about being specific here. Instead of just saying, "You inspire me," saying, "Your dedication to your art, even when you're tired, has inspired me to recommit to my own writing," shows that you're paying attention to the particular ways her character shines. 6. I choose you every day. In a world full of options and distractions, knowing that someone actively chooses to be with you is incredibly reassuring. This isn't about possession or control, it's about conscious commitment. Letting her know that your relationship isn't just habit or convenience, but an active choice you make daily, reinforces the value you place on what you share. Try saying, "With all the paths my life could take, I want you to know that I choose this one, with you, every single day. Not because I have to, but because there's nowhere else I'd rather be." This works because it addresses a fundamental human concern. Do they really want to be with me? By explicitly stating your choice, you provide that reassurance. This sentiment becomes most powerful when expressed during ordinary moments, not just after arguments or during special occasions. It shows that your commitment isn't conditional or reactionary, but consistent. There's something profound about the element of choice in love. In the beginning of a relationship, that choice seems obvious. Of course, we choose each other when everything is new and exciting. But expressing that you still actively choose her, especially during the ordinary Tuesday afternoons of life, that's when these words carry their full weight. In long-term relationships, it's easy for both people to start feeling taken for granted, like you're together mostly out of habit or convenience. Explicitly stating that you're making an active choice to be with her counters that feeling and reintroduces the element of intention that makes love feel alive. I remember talking with an elderly couple who had been married for over 50 years. When I asked their secret, the husband said, "Every morning when I wake up, I make the decision to love her again today, not because of what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow, but because today I choose her all over again." His wife had tears in her eyes as he said this, even after hearing it for decades. This isn't about making grand declarations. Sometimes it's as simple as looking at her across the dinner table during a completely ordinary meal and saying, "You know, I'm really glad I get to do life with you. Of all the people in the world, I'm grateful I get to be with you." What makes this phrase so powerful is that it acknowledges the reality that relationships take work and commitment, but frames that commitment as a privilege rather than a burden. It says, "I see you clearly, both your strengths and your human imperfections, and I choose all of you, actively and deliberately." 7. I love who I am when I'm with you. This might be the most profound thing you can say to someone you care about. It goes beyond appreciating who they are. It acknowledges how they bring out the best in you. When you tell someone that you love who you are in their presence, you're recognizing that they create an environment where you can be your most authentic, most alive self. Try saying, "I just realized something. I really love the person I am when I'm with you. Somehow you bring out parts of me that don't emerge with anyone else." This works because it speaks to the unique chemistry between you. It's not just that you love her or that you enjoy spending time with her. It's that the specific combination of you both creates something special that transforms you both. This sentiment is powerful because it recognizes that while we are always ourselves, different relationships bring out different aspects of our personalities. When someone consistently brings out your best, your most generous, authentic, playful, or courageous self, that's incredibly valuable. I remember a friend telling me about his relationship saying, "Before I met her, I didn't know I could be this patient, this understanding. She doesn't demand these qualities from me, she just somehow inspires them." This recognition deepened his appreciation for their relationship beyond just enjoying her company. One of the most beautiful things about human connection is this alchemy that happens between people. Somehow, in the right relationship, we become more ourselves than we knew was possible. When you acknowledge this gift she gives you just by being herself, you're recognizing something profound about your connection. 8. Thank you for choosing me too. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in any relationship. Expressing genuine thanks for her choice to be with you shows both humility and appreciation. This phrase acknowledges that just as you choose her, she also chooses you, and that you don't take that choice for granted. Try saying, "Sometimes I think about all the different directions your life could have taken, and I just want to say thank you for choosing to share it with me. I don't take that for granted." This works because it shows self-awareness and appreciation. You recognize that she has options and agency, and her decision to be with you is something you value deeply. What makes this phrase so moving is the element of humility it contains. It acknowledges that you see yourself clearly, both your strengths and your flaws, and you appreciate that she chooses you despite knowing you fully. I know a couple who went through a difficult period in their relationship. After they had worked through it, the husband told his wife, "Thank you for still choosing us, even when it was hard. I know you had other options, and I don't take it for granted that you stayed and fought for what we have." She told me later that this acknowledgement of her active choice to remain committed meant more than any apology or promise. There's something particularly powerful about expressing this sentiment during ordinary times, not just after conflicts or challenges. When you randomly turn to her during a mundane moment and express gratitude for her choosing to share her life with you, it reminds both of you that what you have is not just circumstantial, but intentional. This gratitude creates a beautiful cycle in relationships. When each person feels appreciated for their choice to be there, it reinforces that choice and deepens their commitment. The true power of words. What makes these phrases so effective isn't just what they communicate on the surface. It's what they reveal about your attentiveness and emotional intelligence. When you express these sentiments genuinely, you're showing that you're someone who notices the details, appreciates depth, and values emotional connection. This kind of emotional awareness is increasingly rare in our distracted world. When you can truly see someone and express what you see in a thoughtful way, you stand out not because you're using clever lines, but because you're demonstrating authentic presence. I want to emphasize that these phrases are not about manipulation or saying what you think someone wants to hear. They're about developing the capacity to recognize what's truly valuable in another person and having the courage to express it. The most beautiful part. As you practice this kind of authentic communication, you'll likely find that you become more attentive and appreciative in general. The act of expressing these sentiments doesn't just change how she sees you, it can actually change how you see the world. Timing matters. While what you say is important, when you say it matters just as much. These phrases have the most impact when 1. They're unexpected, not just said on special occasions or when you want something. 2. They're specific to recent events or observations, showing you're paying attention in real time. 3. They're expressed during ordinary moments, elevating the everyday rather than just marking the special. One of the most powerful times to express these sentiments is during completely mundane activities. When you're doing dishes together, or walking the dog, or waiting in line at the grocery store, these ordinary moments become extraordinary when you pause to express something meaningful. Beyond words, backing it up. Words are powerful, but they gain their full power when consistently backed by actions. If you tell her you value her opinion, but then repeatedly make decisions without consulting her, the words become empty. This alignment between what you say and what you do creates trust. And trust is the foundation upon which all meaningful relationships are built. Think of these phrases not as one-time statements, but as ongoing commitments. Each time you express one of these sentiments, you're essentially making a promise to continue seeing and valuing that aspect of her and your relationship. Practice makes perfect. If expressing feelings doesn't come naturally to you, know that it's a skill you can develop. You might feel awkward or vulnerable at first, and that's completely normal. Start small, perhaps with written notes, if speaking these words feels too challenging initially. Many men I've spoken with worry about sounding insincere or cheesy when expressing emotions. The key is specificity and authenticity. When you tie your expressions to concrete examples and speak from genuine observation rather than generic sentiment, they come across as thoughtful rather than cliched. Remember that vulnerability, while uncomfortable, is the path to the deepest connections. The temporary discomfort of opening up emotionally pales in comparison to the lasting intimacy it creates. As we come to the end of our journey together today, I want to leave you with this thought. The words we speak, quite literally, create the world we live in. When you choose to speak words of appreciation, recognition, and love, you're not just winning her heart, you're creating a relationship environment where both of you can thrive. These 6 powerful phrases: I'm proud of you, your opinion matters to me, I feel safe with you, I notice what you do, you inspire me to be better, and I choose you every day, aren't just about saying the right thing in the moment. They're about cultivating a mindset of genuine appreciation and attentiveness that transforms how you experience love itself. I've seen these words change lives. I've witnessed relationships transform from disconnected to deeply bonded, from tense to tender, from uncertain to unshakable, all because someone found the courage to express what was truly in their heart. Think about someone in your life right now who deserves to hear these words from you. Imagine their face as you express one of these sentiments genuinely. That feeling you're experiencing right now, that warmth spreading through your chest, that's the power of connection waiting to be expressed. Before you close this video, I invite you to make a promise to yourself. Choose just one of these expressions and commit to sharing it with someone special in your life within the next 24 hours. Not because you want something in return, but because you want to create a moment of genuine connection. Because in the end, that's what life is all about. Those moments of real human connection that remind us why we're here at all. If this video resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content about building meaningful relationships. Share it with someone who might need these words in their life, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these expressions resonated most with you? Or do you have another meaningful phrase that's transformed your relationships? Until next time, remember that your words have the power to change someone's entire world. Use them wisely, use them generously, and watch as they create ripples of love that extend far beyond what you could imagine. Thank you for joining me today. This is where we believe that the quality of our relationships determines the quality of our lives.